This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is why, like, when people say the hitbox is fine, they're talking out their ass. They don't know what they're on about. This is Wesker's literal hitbox. It is smaller than his model size. How can you argue in good faith that the hitbox is fine when the hitbox is literally smaller than his model size? And the problem with this is that you can literally then hit a survivor dead on and miss them. And that's not because of any bugs or anything. That's because the hitbox is not large enough because his hitbox is smaller than his model size. It's really fucking simple. If hitbox is smaller than model size, then you're going to have issues. It's so simple. And everyone who comes out and goes, the hitbox is fine, they're literally talking out their ass. They don't know what they're on about. They haven't looked at the numbers. They haven't looked at the hitbox. And they haven't looked at actual footage evidence showing why this is an issue. It's so ridiculous that it's even a discussion. So, on the PTB, Wesker's hitbox was too large. Both the environmental, shown in red, and the survivor collision were too large. So the environmental being large meant that you hit things too easily. But on live servers, they reduced both of them to be less than killer's model size. That's fine potentially for environmental collision. Potentially you would want to reduce it a little bit more because killer's visions is reduced to this. This is like what a killer sees from their perspective, right? But the environmental collision is like out here, right? So because the environmental collision is out here, you're hitting things that you can't see. So realistically, behavior should be making the environmental collision align with killer FOV rather than killer shoulders. But the survivor collision, you can see it's less than the killer's model size. That is a problem. By making it smaller than his hitbox, you can get instances where you go through survivors. I think we catch her here again. What the fuck? How did that miss? There's no way that she squeezed past me. How small is this fucking pallet loop? So here's a fantastic example of where we go through Zarina. Keep in mind, right, it's quite small. There's not much space here, right? I suspect, from my understanding and years of playing killer, that a killer's hitbox probably takes up this much of this space, right? So it doesn't really leave much wiggle room. There's nothing about skill when you've got a corridor this tight that like literally goes like this across, and then you have a survivor pill hitbox, which is like this, and then you have a killer hitbox, which is like this, right? There's no way that you can miss in a corridor like this. It's just not possible. So that says that behavior have coded the hitbox wrong. And people who defend this, mind blown to me. This to me is indefensible. In a situation where I should not be able to squeeze past her, I squeeze past her. That's why Wesker's hitbox being so short is such a bad thing, and why behavior just increased it by 4 centimeters. It would fix a lot of things. Now, another reason this is an issue is because Wesker has no forward-facing detection. Demogorgon has a little cone ahead of him like this that allows him to hit survivors in front of him. If Wesker also had a cone in front of him, it would fix a lot of these issues. There's a bug currently out there where if you hit a survivor, you will just drop them, but they will become infected. No interstates. That's a bug that needs fixing. I don't know what causes that bug. I've had it happen against walls. I've had it happen against hills. I've had it happen in complete thin air. Nothing around, so no idea what causes that. Wesker gets stuck on staircases, so he can't vault down or up staircases. He gets stuck on the edge of them. So that's another issue with his power. He'll just stop straight on the power. Wesker gets stuck on hatches, and if he hits a survivor on a hatch, it will drop the survivor on the floor, meaning that you can't grab a survivor who is trying to escape by the hatch or hasn't escaped by the hatch, like this Dwight. It just drops them immediately. And Wesker will hit a dying state survivor on the other side of a pallet rather than a full health or injured survivor. He hits the dying hate survivor. How can I hit a survivor who is injured? What the fuck is this game? So guys, if you have Twitter, do me a favor and head on over to this tweet here. Give it a retweet, give it a like, and then scroll down and like each one. It makes the thread more likely to pop up on people's feeds. I was so like, I don't know, man. I feel so like, I feel like a bit annoyed at myself for being upset, right? Because I know streamer being upset makes for bad content overall. People come here to have a good time. They want to be entertained. They want to be uplifted. And when I'm a bit, you know, upset, annoyed, blah, 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 then it just like, it will put some people off the stream, and I get that. But like, I was so excited for Project W release. I was so excited for Wesker, and it just feels kind of shit. Project W, more like Project L, unfortunately.